right, guys, there's so many questions out there right now surrounding the coronavirus. But with cases on the rise, can the government implement mandatory isolation?
It is one of the big questions. Criminal defense attorney Alison Triessl is here to help provide some clarity to some of those questions.
Help us, Triessl.
There's so much confusion and misinformation.
But people are wondering, are we going to see a time where the government mandates you have to be isolated? We're seeing it in Italy.
By the way, the answer is yes. The government can do this. And this is not to scare people, but is this a medical emergency? And the answer is probably yes. The courts will see this as the government has fairly extensive powers, both federally and locally, to stop the spread of this illness. And they look at, well, what is in the best interest of the community, of society? And that certainly is isolation and quarantine. This isn't the first time that the government has imposed it. The last real wide quarantine was 100 years ago for the Spanish flu.
Yeah.
But I see this growing, and I think legal challenges. You know, the thing about living in this country is we have so many freedoms. So we will question, well, what do you mean I can't leave my house? But in other countries, literally 50 million people are essentially on lockdown in China. They have stopped public transportation to stop the spread of the illness. And even though we're so used to our freedoms, I could certainly see them being curtailed right now.
Is martial law a possibility?
Well, that's really for wartime, and so I think that's the extreme. But there's already been executive orders, all of our borders, right? So any international travel, state to state, the federal government controls that. And so you can see people, there will be mandatory vaccinations when they arrive. Health checks. Certainly quarantine and isolation is well within the government purview. And so I think we should really expect that.
One of the things that a lot of people are talking about right now is that cruise ship has been quarantined. The people on the ship have been quarantined.
Right. Totally legal.
Really?
Totally legal. And I know that surprises people, but that is international waters. That is our border. And the federal government has an absolute right to do it. It's been tested in court. And basically, the court said, there's no question here. We have to protect the community, our entire society, and the safety of American citizens, and they're going to do that.
What if you contract the virus from somebody else? Can you sue them?
You know, it's funny. All weekend, people have been asking me questions like, well, what if this? You know, what do you mean I can't go on public transportation?
Yeah.
You can't sue someone if they give you a cold.
Well,
I mean, Scott, I love you, but here's the thing. I mean, seriously, you're going to sue me because I gave you a little hug and I had a cough? No.
If I get the Rona
that way. Try it, and I'll sue you right back.
I know, right? I mean, and
my money's on her. I love you.
And I don't mean to jest, but I mean, a lot of people are looking at this like now, like can my job force me to travel? Okay,
so here's the interesting thing, and I did a bunch of research over the weekend about it because this is a really interesting question. The government normally does not get involved in the private sector, right? So with the state employees, there's a lot the government can get involved in, but is there going to come a time where the federal or state governments get involved in the private sector and say, look, you can't force people into travel? We're not there yet.
Okay.
The question is, for a lot of these people that get paid hourly, if they have to go home and they're not allowed to be at work, does the employer have to pay? Do they have to take paid time sick leave?
Yeah.
These are going to be questions that we're all going to have to struggle with.
If you're forced to take off, you need to get paid.
Well,
I'm no government. But that's what I think.
And you may be absolutely right, but those are things that we're going to have to discuss as this kind of continues to grow.
Because it does seem like it's also kind of still continuing to intensify.
That's right.
Weinstein is getting sentenced tomorrow. What do we think? What do we know?
I think he's going to get a lot of time.
How much?
I do. Okay, so the minimum's 5 years, the maximum's 25 years. Could have been life, but he was acquitted of those charges. I think he's going to get the upper part of 15 to 20 years. I really do.
You do?
I do.
15 to 20 years.
I think he's going to get at least 15 years.
Even after getting acquitted from the most heinous.
Right. So for those charges, he was looking at life in prison. But here he's looking at 25 years.
What's the judge basing that off of?
On the actual convictions, on the testimony of these women, the 2 convictions for each of the victims. And look, is this judge going to look at what's going on with all of the sort of the public sentiment?
Yeah.
Sure. Can he use that for sentencing? No, he can't.
No.
But The prosecution just submitted a very lengthy sentencing memorandum. They talked about essentially more than 30 other incidences that the judge can consider when deciding what to do with Weinstein, and I think he's going to punish him.
It makes me think of, what was it, the Larry Nassar case?
Yes.
Remember the judge was like, we have to set a precedent.
That's right.
Right? Is this going to be used as kind of the precedent for how these cases move forward?
I think that the judge is going to see that, my goodness, this will send a ripple effect to everybody.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the facts. I'm looking at this case. I'm looking at his conviction. And he's well within his right to sentence him to at least 15 years.
What's life like for him in Rikers?
It's Rikers.
Tell me.
I mean,
need to
Rikers
know.
is
I mean,
rough.
Does he have a
Rikers
roommate?
Island.
Is he in a cell?
He does have a roommate, by the way, and he is in a cell. It is not a pleasant experience. I mean, this is a guy who's used to private planes and multiple homes. This is the size of his cell, okay, and he gets three hots and a cot. That's not a life that any of us really would enjoy, and especially for someone like him, who's used to such a lavish lifestyle. He's getting no favorable treatment, I can assure you.
What do you think is going to happen, because he still has this case in Los Angeles? Will that signal to that judge and to this case out here go even harder?
So I don't know. Here's what's going to happen. He's going to get sentenced, and after he's sentenced, then he'll be extradited to Los Angeles to face the charges. I've said this many times. Judges have to look at the case independently of anything else.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to look and say he has to be sentenced more harshly. I do not believe they will.
I know this is we're getting told to go, but this is one of the things.
You're getting to go ahead.
One of the things that a lot of people that I've had conversations about this is, how do we avoid a situation? How is it avoided a situation like Epstein? You know what I mean, where he dies in prison before.
Closely monitored. He's got to be closely monitored. He's got to be watched. I mean, you know, he was sentenced. He's going to be sentenced to time in prison, and he should serve that time. And for a lot of these victims, if he dies accidentally or takes his own life, he really has escaped justice.
Yeah.
Alison Triessl, everybody. Great to see you.
Good to see you. Make sure you check out her website, Wild About Trial, for all the latest criminal trial info.
Incredible.
Good to see the lead.